What is up, guys? It's ya boy Rick, ya bleeding moats brother. Cacus here. Guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel and let me know what you think my next intro name should be. That comment section is wild. Alright, today we've got some brand spankin' new Destiny 2 news, courtesy of the Bungie weekly update that has just gone live, unveiling new official information. And so, let's get started. Now, first things first, what happened yesterday was a very big deal in terms of new Destiny 2 news because Bungie actually revealed the different champion mods coming with Season 15, which essentially means they unveiled the upcoming PvE meta. So I've done a video on that going over some of the exotics and legendaries that are going to get a lot better because of these mods. Definitely check it out. But moving on to today's information, Bungie has basically buffed or nerfed like almost every exotic armor piece in the game. So let's actually start here with an armor mod, and it's one of the most important mods in the game, the traction mod. This would increase your turn speed and was basically essential if you're playing on console. But here's what's gonna happen, the traction mod is being removed. And in its place, they added a sprint turn speed scaler option, allows values from 0.3 to 0.8, and they added additional controller sensitivity options, so 1 to 10 sensitivity as before, but 11 to 20 increases over that. So now your sensitivity is going to go all the way to 20. Then they added an aim down sight sensitivity modifier, allows values from 0.5 to 1.5. So that's, again, that's really interesting, and certainly that mod was kind of taking up a slot for console and controller players that PC players just didn't need. So that's a really big deal right off the bat. But moving on from there to those aforementioned exotic armor pieces, we have the super regenerating exotics, and as you can see, there is a lot here. So, for Shards of Galanor, they increased the amount of super energy granted for hits, but total super regain is now capped at 50%. Ursa Furiosa, cap the amount of super energy you can regain once your super ends at 50%. Skull of Dire Ahamkara, increase the amount of super energy refunded per kill, but total super energy is capped at 50%. So you can see there's clearly a trend here, and that trend is going to continue. Basically, if you guys have played with the Orpheus Rig exotic leg armor for the Hunter, that got this kind of treatment forever ago. It gets a lot of super energy back, but it is capped at 50%. So Bungie looked at that and said, we're doing that for like every super regenning exotic, because as we continue here, the Phoenix Protocol, cap the amount of super energy you can regain once your super ends at 50%. The Storm Dancer's Brace, it now refunds up to 50% of your super energy after your super ends based on the number of kills. So that's just a straight buff. I don't think it did that before. And then the Geomag Stabilizers. So they removed the sprint to top off your super, saying that this perk led to a higher uptime in PvP than was healthy and gave Attunement of Control Warlocks an immediate renewable supply of super energy for paying for mod costs like Special Finisher in PvE. Now that certainly is going to rain that down in PvP for sure, but as a PvE player, I'm sad to see that. Chaos Reach was one of the only viable offensive supers to use in something like a Grandmaster. I'm not going to run up to a champion and Striker Titan him, am I? So let's see how things play out there. Moving on from there, we have some more retunes and reworks, starting things off with the Hunter. So firstly, for the Bombardiers, the bomb now has a secondary effect based on your subclass type. So if your subclass is Arc, it's going to blind people. So this is how it's going to work. Essentially, when you do your dodge, it drops a bomb. And now that bomb is going to do, again, different things based on your subclass. So blind for Arc, burn for Solar, slow for Stasis, and suppress for Void. So frankly, this is a blanket buff across the board because all of these effects are better than just the pure explosion it has right now. But geez, these are actually some pretty big deals. Like burn, I would assume it's damage plus burn, so that's just more DPS for solar. You know, blinding is very effective in PvP as well. So Bombardier's just got a big buff. Moving on from there to the Graviton forfeit. So they increased the bonus invisibility duration. The melee regeneration speed now increases based on the number of enemies near you, and while you're invisible, your recovery is greatly increased and your weapons reload more quickly. Okay, pretty sweet. Lucky pants, man, these have been a meme for so long. So firstly, they added intrinsic hand cannon holster mod, replaced previous functionality with the following. When you ready a fully loaded hand cannon that deals kinetic damage or damage matching your subclass energy type for a short time, each hit against a combatant from that hand cannon increases the damage of the next shot. So they say, note, no, Hawkmoon won't be able to one-shot a raid boss using these legs. Other hand cannons will have a fun edge in combat though. What is a hand cannon holster mod? A new kind of mod that reloads stowed weapons. More on that below. Whoa! Okay, so we got a lot of information we got to talk about there. So firstly, they're adding a brand new mod that basically gives you auto-loading holster. I mean, auto-loading holster is one of the best perks in the game for certain weapon types like grenade launchers. That it could be a huge deal. And also Lucky Pants basically providing rampage for kinetic hand cannons, or again, hand cannons that match your subclass energy. That is a big deal. I wonder if that will stack with rampage. So if I have my igneous hammer with rampage, will it stack with Lucky Pants and I'll be able to two-shot kill an opponent again with one stack of rampage? It could be. Moving on from there, however, we need to talk about the Titan. So for the precious scars, we'll now create a burst of healing and bonus recovery around you whenever you kill an enemy with a weapon whose damage type matches your subclass type. So a lot of that going on in line with the new Elemental Well mod, so there could be some themes going forward. For the Icefall Mantle, they removed the slower class ability recharge scaler. Okay, so Icefall Mantle just got a lot saucier. Alright, for the Warlock, so the Verity's Brow changed to trigger when you get a weapon kill that matches your subclass energy type. Again, we're seeing that. And it increased the grenade damage bonus to 20% per stack, up from 10%. So you gotta jump through one additional hoop to activate it, but the rewards are greater. Then the Stag grants damage reduction to allied guardians standing in your rifts. So 25% against PvE combatants and 15% against players. Pretty darn good. For the Prometheus Spur, now has additional functionality. While standing in a rift, solar weapon kills give you class ability energy, and when your class ability energy is full, solar weapon kills consume that energy and spawn a combination healing / empowering rift at the target's location. Wow, that's pretty darn interesting, jeez. But moving on from there, we have some big changes to armor mods. Firstly, to Ammo Finder, now have an increased chance to spawn ammo on kills with primary weapons and a further increased chance with exotic primaries. Not the biggest deal there, but for Scavengers, multiple copies of Scavenger mods of the same type no longer stack. Huge deal for limiting special spam in PvP, but this is also obviously going to matter in PvE. So now, if you have one grenade launcher Scavenger, that's it. There's literally no point in having two. So blanket nerf across the board. However, it does free up another mod slot in that same place. And speaking of another mod slot, for legs at least, where Scavengers are, holster. So this is a new type of leg armor mod that will gradually reload stowed weapons of the matching type over time. Multiple copies of holster mods of the same type will increase the rate ammo is reloaded. So the following weapon types will have holster mods: auto rifles, fusion rifles, grenade launchers for your power, hand cannon, linear fusion rifle, machine gun, pulse rifle, scout rifle, shotgun sidearm, submachine gun, sniper rifles, and trace rifles. So hand cannon excludes Ariana's Vow, unfortunately, and then rocket launchers and breach loader grenade launchers and bows will not have holster mods, as we didn't want to affect any weapon that has a magazine size of 1. Okay, so again, that is a huge deal for a lot of those weapons, like, you know, machine guns, linear fusion rifles, heavy grenade launchers, stuff like that. You can basically put on an auto-loading holster. That seems incredibly powerful, and especially now with the missing scavenger mod, instead of running double scavenger, in PvE at least, you're going to run one scavenger and then one holster mod pretty much every single time now, because that is a very powerful ability. But moving on from there, you all knew this was coming. Warmind cells are being nerfed. Here's what's happening. So for base Warmind cells, they reduce the radius of the explosion / effect range of Warmind cells from 10 meters down to 6 meters. They reduced the damage of the explosion of Warmind cells. It was previously 200 to 400, and now it's 50 to 250. For global reach, they increased the mod cost of global reach from 3, currently it's 1. They reduced the amount of radius increase from 20 down to 10 meters. For cellular suppression, they reduced the duration of the suppressing effect when using cellular suppression from 3 seconds down to 2 seconds. For Wrath of Rasputin, they reduced the solar damage. It was previously 100 to 200, and now it's 25 to 100. So there you go. Not everything is nerfed. Like, Power of Rasputin still cracked out of its mind. You have a lot of, you know, powerful effects, but certainly the best ones, global reach and so on, were definitely nerfed. And could we see Warmind Cell builds continue? Likely, because they're still probably going to be pretty darn powerful. You know, a single global reach mod can still produce a relatively powerful Warmind Cell, but they're going to be nowhere near as good as they were, especially in higher level content moving forward. Moving on from there, however, we have elemental wells. So they say 2 elemental well mods are getting improvements in order to make them a more competitive choice when compared to other combat style mods. So elemental armaments now has an increased chance to spawn an elemental well based on the tier of the enemy defeated. Okay, cool. And Font of Might's base duration has been increased to 10 seconds, and they increased the damage bonus provided from 10% to 25%. So, pick up an elemental well, 25% weapon damage increase? That is actually pretty darn significant, and maybe elemental wells will start to see a lot more play moving forward because of that. But moving on from there, we have even more information, this time about Iron Banner. So firstly, Bungie showcased the 2 new Iron Banner weapons coming next season. Remember, this season we got 2 returning weapons, and then we got the 2 brand new weapons with the Reese Walker and the Archon's Thunder. So next season, there's going to be 2 brand new weapons. So firstly, we have the Forge's Pledge Pulse Rifle, and then we have the Peace Bond Sidearm. They say each available through vendor packages, bounties, and match rewards, and the seasonal Iron Banner quest. So, we don't know too much about these weapons, you know, what archetypes and so on, but it's definitely nice to get brand new Iron Banner weapons again and no reskins. But moving on from there, we also got a look at the new Iron Banner armor sets coming next season, and Bungie says it's been some time since Saladin brought a fresh set of armor to earn, pulled from the depths of Forgotten Seas. These pieces, worn by warriors of the past, are ready for battle once more, introducing the Iron Forerunner set, as you can see. So that's some pretty interesting looks. I actually really do like the helmets for all of those characters. But guys, you want to know something absolutely crazy about this armor set? It's actually an armor set. That's right. So they say starting next season, we'll be introducing the Iron Lord's Pride intrinsic armor perk through this set. Wearing a piece of this armor grants a small chance of an enhancement prism dropping at the end of an Iron Banner match. Each additional piece worn increases the chance, capping out at 4 pieces total. Oh my, that's actually insane. We've been asking for this for years and years and years, and this absolutely opens the floodgates for set armor in Destiny 2. Now, this is definitely a pretty minor bonus, just getting a chance at extra loot, but it's pretty darn cool, and it makes collecting an armor set so much more important if you're going after that bonus. And then guys, the last thing we have is some brand new Twitch Prime rewards. So we have the Fireworks exotic emote, the Fastlane exotic ghost shell, the Vanishing Point exotic sparrow, and a legendary ship. And so guys, that is it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, found this informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.